How much pressure do you think is on Baker Mayfield this weekend, back in his home state against America's team? We all know the national media will destroy him if he plays terrible, whether it's fair or unfair criticism. And I think that's kind of a fair take, because even though this isn't like a 4:00 game or a game in the national spotlight, it is still a game against the Dallas Cowboys, right? America's team, the ratings bonanza, wherever they are. People are going to be watching this football game. I think there is some pressure on Baker Mayfield in this one.
Yeah, and not only that, it really always seems to me like, even though the Cowboys are America's team, the Browns generate a lot of interest nationally. It doesn't matter what's going on with the Cleveland Browns. They move the needle, and people are interested in what the heck is going on with Cleveland. So I think this is a matchup where you've got a lot of eyeballs on this game. And once again, you've got Dak Prescott versus Baker Mayfield. You've got the Cowboys with their backs against the wall. Can you imagine them starting off 1-3 in a season which I'm sure Jerry Jones has high hopes for this football team? So, he's coming off of a shootout against Russell Wilson. Dak is, and Baker's coming off of a victory, but, one after which he was a little bit hard on himself for things that went on in that victory against Washington. Didn't really like some of the things that he did. Knows he has to step up his game. An opportunity for the Browns to go to 3-1. Could you imagine? There was almost a parade for 2-1. So yeah, I think there's a lot of pressure on this game.
I think there's pressure on Baker, maybe from the fact that the Cowboys are better at defending the run, much better at defending the run than they are against the pass. They've given up some big plays in pass defense, and knowing what we know about the Browns pass defense and all these amazing receivers that the Cowboys have, it just seems like one of those games that could turn into a situation where Baker Mayfield has to throw to keep the Browns in it. So from that respect, yeah, but I'm actually working on a post about what does a successful game for Baker Mayfield look like with this team. And I think it's closer to what we've seen the last 2 weeks. He was 16-23, 2 games in a row, passer rating over 100, 3 for 2 touchdowns, both games. We're probably going to see more games from Baker Mayfield that resemble that in Browns wins than we are, the 35-40 passes and 300 yards through the air. It just doesn't seem like this offense is set up for that. So, but I do believe, though, that just based on what we know about the Cowboys defense and the fact that they've been hurt passing the ball, one of these teams are going to shut down the Browns run game, and Baker's going to have to step up. And signs are starting to point that this week could be it.
Yeah, it could be this week. Pittsburgh in a couple weeks too, as one of the best run defenses too in the league. So some good tests probably coming. I'll ask you this, Mary Kay, because you brought up the Dallas-Cleveland comparison. Who do you think is under more pressure right now, Baker or Dak? Because Dak's playing for that contract, and that came up from one of our Football Insider subscribers, him not getting paid yet. Who do you think right now, like week to week, is under more pressure?
Right now, I would say that it's Dak, especially this week. I mean, this week, they've got to pull out of a little bit of a tailspin. You don't want to come off of a game like that where you got in this shootout. You really kind of could have won the game, or at least almost won the game in the fourth quarter there at the end. And, you can't go 1-3 and expect that you're going to very easily dig out of that kind of a hole. Everybody knows what kind of pressure is on Dak Prescott. He's trying to get the big contract. He's playing on the franchise tag of $31 million this year. That's a heck of a lot of money in its own right? That's right up there with the best quarterbacks in the NFL. So if he wants to be paid like one of those guys, and he does, we know that he does, then he's got to go out and win a game like this against a good defensive front. Now, the Browns are in a situation where Denzel Ward has a groin injury. We don't know if he's even going to be able to play this game. He sat out practice today. I actually think when you're dealing with a cornerback and a groin injury that you need to err on the side of caution.
This question is easy. If you play for Jerry Jones, there's always going to be more pressure on you as a quarterback to perform. That's just the way it is.
Yeah, I was sitting here. I figured you both say Dak. I was trying to come up with the case for Baker, and I'm just thinking, could you imagine in this city if like Jimmy Haslam went on the radio every Monday or held press conferences after games. Like it can sometimes seem like the Browns have so much swirling around them and can be a circus, but at least they don't have to deal with things like that, with the owner kind of just going off every week on some tangent and making those types of headlines.